Hello, this guide is going to be for setting up an Exchange display on Meeting Room 365. A couple of things before we get started. You're going to need a resource mailbox for every display you want to set up. You create this in Exchange Admin. You can look up a guide on TechNet or Microsoft's documentation site for how to do that if you've never done that before, but it's pretty much like creating any other user account. You just set a couple extra options for your resource mailbox. While you're doing that, you might as well go ahead and run the PowerShell command to add organizers to subject. You're going to set that to false. It's linked in this article exactly how to do that, but you're basically just going into PowerShell and running a command against each of those resource mailboxes, and that's going to change the default setting, which removes the subject from your events. That way your event subjects will show up on your meeting room display. All right. Now, once you do that, you're also going to want to do a password reset for each one of those resource mailboxes. That's going to give you a username and a password that you can use to authenticate Exchange. We use the EWS SOAP API to connect. You may have to allow a couple of our IPs or domains through your firewall. There's more details on that in the article. But once you've set everything up on the Exchange end, it's pretty easy to set things up in Meeting Room 365. Just log into your admin portal, go to New Display, and Exchange. On the Connect to Exchange page, you're going to see a field where you can enter your host, select your Exchange version, enter your username and password. And if you use a delegate, here's where you enter the delegate username. And finally, you can pick a name for your meeting room. And once you fill all these out and you hit create an Exchange display, it'll make an attempt to connect to your server. If it's successful, it will create your display. If not, it will return an error. So once we are done, we're going to hit create an Exchange display. One thing to note here is if you're on an older version of Exchange, your username may not be an email. And if it's not an email, try including the domain in the username whenever you add it. So instead of just putting like your room, your username, try putting your full UPN, which should be like / your domain and then / your username. Another thing to note is you're not going to put HTTP or anything in the EWS host. I'm pretty sure on every version of Exchange, it just goes through port 443 for HTTPS. I don't think any of them use HTTP, but if you're configuring your firewall, 443 is the port we're going to connect through to your SOAP API. And for most people, that'll just be mail.mydomain.com. All right. Once we click create, we will get a display key and some instructions on how to install the app. If we click next, we will get to the display. We can edit it. I've already created this display, so that's why some of these displays don't look correct. And you can go in, re-edit your credentials. By default, once you go through this wizard once, we save the host and Exchange version. Yeah, that should be it. We save the host and Exchange version so that it's auto-filled on the form every time you add a new display to make things a little easier. But that should be all you need to set things up. You just grab that display key and enter it on a tablet, and everything will sync between this display and your tablet.